My name is Allison Umminger Madison, and I am a spiritual director affiliated with Ignatius House, which is a Jesuit retreat center in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm here today contemplating with you on this passage from Thomas Keating and also from the book of Galatians in the New Testament. I want to start with the Keating and this quote and just read it. This idea that the spiritual journey is not a career, is not a success story. It's a series of small humiliations of the false self. And they become more and more profound, and they open us more and more to the Holy Spirit. That as we travel, as we journey, as we learn more about ourselves and the places where we have blind spots and shortcomings, we also become more open to letting God into those spaces and healing us and living and working through us. So I started with that because that was the easy passage. That's the one that, all the good trained in not saying in non-binary spiritual direction, right? In not just going good and bad. We look at that and we think, okay, that works. The Galatians passage was a little more challenging for me. Maybe it was for you as well. I looked and I thought, okay, here's the nice list, here's the naughty list, and the naughty list has things on it like drunkenness and carousing and sorcery. Some of those I'm pretty sure I do not engage in. I felt okay saying like those are not on my list right now. But it's a long list and there's a lot on it. And there were certainly things that caught my attention. And the one that really spoke to me was factions. I thought, oh my goodness, factionalism. Like this is on the exact same list with all of these other things that it's very easy for me to distance myself from. And I think that's one of the neat challenges when we really pray is not to just look at, okay, I'm not it, the kind of Pharisees model, right? Not that, but to say, all right, I struggle with that. I struggle with factionalism sometimes when I go to work, when I open the newspaper, when I turn on my computer, I see factions everywhere and I often engage. And this is not a life-sustaining activity. This is not life-giving. So it was good for me to sit with that list and really pray with an open heart. And the second half, I love the contrast, the idea that each of us is invited to really notice the gifts in our lives as well, whether it's love or peace or patience, self-control, faithfulness. Generosity really spoke to me because I thought how much a counter it is to factionalism, that if we're generous with the people around us, if we listen a little harder to the story of the person next to us, it's harder to have factions. It's harder to think I'm right and you're wrong. It's much easier to see the person with the kind and loving eyes that God invites us to have with everyone, whether we agree with them or not. So instead of choosing a pre-written prayer for this week, the grace I would say that one might pray with is to really pray to see where is God leading me in this, and to treat these lists as Ignatius would as a place for examine, to go through that first list and say, okay, God, where in the past day or week have I gotten caught up in one of these things? When I'm really, really honest with my life, when I go through that list, where is God inviting me to notice that I'm not living up to the most spirit-filled life? Where is there maybe even a small humiliation that Keating talks about? And the second, where have I been able to be generous? Look at that second list. Where have I been able to experience joy? Where have I been kind? Where have I deeply listened to someone? Where have I left the room a little better after I left it than when I came in? When I really sat with that too, I thought, okay, God, I could do a little better on these. I noticed some good places, but I also thought, okay, I could be a lot more generous in my spirit. I often have my own naughty lists and nice lists in my mind. So as much as I don't love seeing them written down, I don't love when I notice them in my head and I have to go, okay, God, you're inviting me to turn this over to you and to pray a little more deeply. So that is my invitation to you with these readings, is to really treat them as a space for examine, dig deep. What is God inviting you to notice? And where is God inviting you to greater healing, greater connection, and greater love?